Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We've got a seriously fascinating journey ahead of us today, a strategic hero's journey, if you will. We're going to uncover exactly how human resources, or HR, evolved from this quiet, local administrative task tucked away in a back office into a massive global strategic powerhouse that literally drives modern business. So if you want to understand how modern companies actually win on the global stage, well, you're in exactly the right place.
But right before we dive into the mechanics of it all, I want to pose a bit of a mystery to you. In a world where your competitors can buy the exact same software, replicate your manufacturing processes, and copy your technology practically overnight, what actually keeps a company on top? I mean, what is the true source of sustainable competitive advantage? Keep that question in the back of your mind as we go, because finding that answer is the ultimate prize of our journey today.
All right, so here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. The globalization disruption. 2. What is Global HRM? 3. Navigating global challenges. 4. The technology toolkit. And 5. The ultimate competitive edge. Starting right off with Section 1, the globalization disruption. This was the catalyst that changed absolutely everything. For decades, organizations mostly just operated right within their own borders. Local HR was essentially just an administrative function. You hired from the local talent pool, you dealt with a single, familiar cultural focus, and that was pretty much it. But then, bam, globalization hit. Today, businesses might buy raw materials in one country, manufacture them in another, and sell them worldwide. So global HR had to become this heavily strategic function involving borderless talent acquisition and managing incredibly diverse cultures. To survive this totally new environment, organizations had to wake up and realize they aren't just competing with the business down the street anymore. They are competing with multinational corporations everywhere. HR literally had to make a massive leap just to keep up.
Moving on to Section 2. What is Global HRM, the new paradigm?
So, global human resource management is fundamentally about managing people across national boundaries. But the real secret sauce here? It's in the second half of that definition, balancing global consistency with local flexibility. It is a delicate, high-wire balancing act. Honestly, it's kind of like juggling while riding a unicycle. For example, a multinational company might want to maintain a common, consistent leadership philosophy all over the world, right? But they still have to modify their leave policies, working hours, and benefits to comply with local labor laws and completely different cultural practices in each specific country.
So what are the new realities of this landscape actually look like? Well, the impacts of globalization on HR are profound. First off, we've got global talent acquisition, meaning recruitment is no longer confined by borders at all. Organizations are hunting for specialized skills globally. Second, there's workforce diversity. Employees now differ in nationality, language, age, and professional experience. And managing this incredible melting pot is now a core HR duty. Third is cross-cultural management, which requires bridging entirely different communication styles and work ethics. Then comes international mobility. And finally, global competition, which really forces this continuous improvement in employee skills and productivity just to stay in the game. Let's look a little closer at just one of those impacts to see how complex this gets: international mobility. Sending an employee overseas isn't just about, booking a flight. Modern HR must first manage the physical relocation. Then, step 2, they have to adjust compensation and navigate wildly complex international taxation. Step 3, they have to provide family support, because let's face it, an employee won't succeed if their family is struggling in a new country. And step 4, facilitate cultural adaptation. It's a highly involved, complex process that requires some serious deep expertise. Which brings us to Section 3, navigating global challenges, the trials and tribulations. Because obviously, HR does not operate in a vacuum. The crucial thing to understand here is the immense external pressure HR actually faces day to day. Economic conditions dictate wage levels and labor availability globally. Political stability, taxation, and immigration regulations, those can easily make or break a business expansion plan. Legal regulations are a literal minefield. Every single country has distinct labor laws covering everything from working hours to workplace safety, and HR has to ensure total compliance. And of course, cultural differences fundamentally influence how teamwork, leadership, and negotiation even happen. To really ground these challenges in reality, I want you to just think about the complexities of your last Zoom or Teams call. Got it? Okay, now imagine doing that across 3 completely different time zones, with team members who have entirely different cultural frameworks for how to make a decision or even how to politely disagree.
HR has to develop the actual policies and the company culture that facilitate effective communication and performance management in these highly virtual, geographically scattered work environments. Okay, Section 4, the Technology Toolkit, Equipping the Global Workforce. So here is what the modern HR toolkit looks like today. First up, HRIS, or Human Resource Information Systems. These allow organizations to accurately store and manage massive amounts of employee info digitally. Then, artificial intelligence. AI is actively out there assisting HR in resume screening, predictive analytics, and long-term workforce planning. We also have cloud-based HR platforms, which give employees global access to their payroll and training modules from literally anywhere in the world. And digital collaboration tools, your video conferencing and project management software, which make remote and hybrid work structurally possible in the first place. Technology has just made HR dramatically faster, way more efficient, and highly data-driven. But, and this is a massive but, technology has to complement human judgment, not replace it entirely. This brilliantly illustrates the core philosophy of modern global HR. As absolutely game-changing as AI and cloud computing are, human judgment, empathy, and strategic thinking remain the irreplaceable core of managing, well, human resources. And because of that, organizations operating internationally expect their employees to bring a new set of essential competencies to the table. It's not just about raw technical skill anymore. It's about cultural intelligence, the ability to genuinely respect and work effectively with people from totally different backgrounds. It's about adaptability, the digital literacy to actually utilize the tools we just talked about, having a continuous learning mindset, and exhibiting ethical behavior. These are the truly vital skills that top organizations are recruiting for globally right now. And that leads us straight into our final chapter, Section 5, the ultimate competitive edge, the ultimate prize. I really want you to let this quote sink in. Competitors can often replicate machinery, technology, or business models. However, they cannot easily replicate an organization's culture, leadership, employee commitment, or accumulated knowledge. Guys, this is the answer to our mystery from the very beginning. In today's knowledge-based economy, long-term success just isn't achieved merely through having a better product. Talented, committed people, and the culture that binds them all together are a company's only sustainable competitive advantage. It is quite literally the one thing your competitor cannot just go and buy off the shelf. But sustaining that kind of advantage, it means looking way beyond just short-term economics. Organizations today are completely expected to achieve social and environmental responsibility too. HR contributes directly to this sustainable development by promoting ethical employment practices, encouraging true, meaningful diversity and inclusion, actively supporting employee health and well-being, and facilitating corporate social responsibility or CSR initiatives. Balancing high business performance with real social responsibility, that is how you build an inclusive, totally unbeatable culture. Now, before we wrap up, I want to clarify one super vital point. Global HR is no longer limited to just massive multinational corporations. This applies to everyone now. Even small and medium-sized enterprises are routinely recruiting remote employees, collaborating with international clients, and using digital platforms to operate on a global scale. The strategies we've unpacked today are absolutely essential for organizations of all sizes. So, I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. Whether you're working for a massive multinational corporation right now, or you're building a scrappy small startup with a few remote workers, take a hard look at your organization. Is your company merely treating its people as just another managed resource? Or is it treating them as its ultimate undeniable advantage? How you answer that question is probably going to determine your organization's future. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today, and I really hope this journey has completely changed how you view the incredible strategic world of global HR.